Most people think the wreck is the fall. It's not.
Bull is straight for a while, bucked high, and flips over him and
The real damage comes after the bull turns back, stomps, crushes, and refuses to disengage. These 10 wrecks aren't accidents, they're sustained punishment. Let's start with Jason Bennett. Nile shoved a horn straight into his face and left him seeing stars in Cleveland. Round 1 of the 2000 Cleveland Open didn't ease in. Jerry Nelson's bull Nile stunned Jason Bennett almost immediately, then made it personal. Bennett got knocked off balance and caught square in the face as Nile shoved a horn straight into his cheek and flicked him aside like he didn't belong there.
Big stout bull.
Big bull.
Boy.
Jason.
Watch out, Jason, he's been knocked unconscious.
The hit looked ugly because it was. A ton of animal rising up, then snapping forward with no pause. The crowd went quiet fast. That kind of contact rattles more than teeth. It rattles your senses.
Dave Lammer's out there.
Bennett was left dazed, suffering a mild concussion, his head swimming while the arena tried to breathe again. He'd just come off winning momentum, confidence high, and Nile erased it in a blink. Then, Justin McBride. Mission Pack crushed him flat and left him fighting for air on the dirt. Justin McBride entered that round carrying championship pressure that crushes most riders before they ever nod their head. Mission Pack didn't just buck him off. He launched McBride high, then came down with intent. Both hooves landed square on McBride's chest and ribs. The impact folded him.
McBride go out. Bull is straight for a while, bucked high, and flips over him and
The damage wasn't visible at first, which made it worse. Inside, his lung collapsed. A rib fractured. Air wouldn't come. Medics knew immediately this was life-threatening.
But I'm telling you what, this bull jumped right in the middle of him. This is
A chest tube went in within minutes to keep him breathing. McBride later admitted he thought he was dying on the dirt. Every breath felt like knives tearing through his chest. Darkness closed in fast. The season nearly ended right there, not with a loss, but with a hospital bed. After that, Billy Robinson, hi-ho, dropped 1,000 pounds straight onto his ribs and didn't hesitate. Billy Robinson's ride looked smooth until the dismount betrayed him. One wrong angle was all it took. He came off underneath hi-ho, trapped in the worst possible position. The bull dropped its full weight straight down onto Robinson's ribcage. Over 1,000 pounds crushed his chest. The air left his lungs instantly. He couldn't scream. He couldn't breathe.
Keep going. Atta boy. Keep going. Oh, no. Boy, stepped right on him. All over. Come out from under it. Woo!
He just lay there, suffocating, while hooves scraped and shifted around him. Doctors later confirmed multiple broken ribs. Recovery wasn't weeks, it was months. Breathing hurt, coughing felt violent, rolling over in bed was torture. His family questioned whether coming back made sense. Robinson did too. Getting crushed like that doesn't fade quickly. It changes how you see every nod, every gait. This isn't the worst of it. The wrecks ahead show what happens when the bull decides it's not done. Coming up next, Mike White. One bad spin sent him headfirst into steel that didn't give an inch. The bull didn't just buck hard, it exploded into a spin so fast that Mike White wasn't thrown down. He was fired sideways. That detail matters. Sideways means no chance to brace, no time to tuck. His head slammed straight into the metal chute extension, full force.
Used to go to the left, and hey, that's what he's gonna do. Right? Oh man, slam dunk right into the fence. Watch out, Jimmy.
The sound cracked through the arena, sharp and hollow, and everyone knew it was bad before he even stopped moving. White's vision faded instantly. Balance disappeared. The world tilted and blurred. Metal doesn't absorb impact. It sends it straight back through bone and brain.
I mean, he hit right in the corner. I couldn't tell.
Doctors later told him how close it came to skull fractures. A slightly different angle, a few inches higher, and the outcome changes completely. White said everything went hazy for nearly a minute. Dirt forgives mistakes, steel punishes them. Then, Justin McBride again. Lightning bolt ignored the whistle and carved pain into his leg anyway. Justin McBride did what every rider is trained to do. He made the whistle clean, 8 seconds, job done. But the dismount came just slightly mistimed and lightning bolt took advantage instantly. The bull hooked McBride's thigh with full force, deep and solid, then trampled through like he wasn't there. Hooves barely missed places that would have ended the night much worse.
Judges are going to, whoa, look out, hit him right in the belly. Look out. He's after him. Oh, duck. It had a little of everything.
McBride got clear, but the damage stayed. A deep bruise bloomed across his thigh and refused to fade. Weeks later, it still hurt to mount and worse to dismount. Up next, Shane Proctor. Spotted Demon drilled him in the head with a hit that nearly ended everything. Spotted Demon wasn't a mystery bull. Everyone knew what he was capable of. No forgiveness, no soft spots. When Shane Proctor nodded his head, he knew the margin was thin. The bull snapped hard and fast, jerking Proctor forward before he could recover. The horn came up and drilled him straight in the head. Clean, violent, without hesitation. The helmet absorbed the blow and likely saved his career. Without it, this story ends very differently. Proctor still went down hard, stunned and shaken, but alive. That hit exposed the brutal truth of this sport. One movement off, 1 inch wrong, one piece of gear missing. The line between walking away and everything ending is razor thin. After that, Agnaldo Cardoso, Whiskey's rebel, launched him face first before his hands could even move. Agnaldo Cardoso didn't get eased off. He got launched. Whiskey's rebel snapped and fired him headfirst off the bull, sending him straight into the dirt with no angle to save himself. His face hit first, hard. The impact broke his nose on contact, a sharp instant punishment that landed before his hands could even move. And then it got worse. As Cardoso tried to gather himself, the horn came through and flipped him again, adding violence to injury. That's the terrifying part of wrecks like this. The body takes damage faster than the brain can register danger. Pain stacks before awareness catches up. One moment you're centered, the next you're bleeding in the dirt. Control didn't fade here, it vanished. Whiskey's rebel didn't warn him. The bull simply decided the ride was over. Up next, Cory Melton. Lefty spun him helpless while his hand stayed trapped. Cory Melton got bucked off, but the real trouble started when his hand didn't come free. Lefty spun hard, fast, and violent, dragging Melton with him like a loose object. Tall rider, compact bull, brutal physics. Every rotation ripped at his balance until there was nothing left to recover. He didn't get thrown clean, he got whipped.
Watch this, this ought to be good. Going to the right, clicked his heels, lose your feet, lose your...
When Melton finally hit the ground, he had no footing, no leverage, no control, just impact. Lefty's spin had already done the damage. Being attached is worse than being thrown. You can brace for a fall, you can't brace when you're being rotated and slammed without warning. Melton lost his feet early and never found them again. That wreck showed the darkest version of bull riding. Then, Daniel Keeping, smooth steel snapped once and erased control in under a second. Daniel Keeping isn't known for chaos, he's known for control. Smooth rides, clean finishes. That's what made this wreck so unsettling. The ride held strong past 6 seconds. The danger zone most riders breathe through. Everything looked steady until smooth steel snapped. No warning, no buildup. One violent move and the entire ride collapsed. Keeping bounced off the bull's back hard, thrown out of position before he could react.
Keeping collides with...
In less than a second, dominance disappeared. That's the reality at this level. You can do everything right and still get punished. Consistency doesn't protect you. Experience doesn't slow the bull down. Smooth steel reminded everyone how fragile control really is. One wrong movement and the ride doesn't just end, it unravels. The crowd barely had time to react before it was over. Finally, Cody Hefernan, acting crazy, detonated from the chute and erased the ride in 3 seconds. Cody Hefernan came into Tulsa ready, focused, composed. Acting crazy, didn't care. The bull detonated out of the chute with raw aggression and erased the ride in under 3 seconds. No rhythm, no adjustment, just instant violence. Heffernan lost control immediately, tossed before he could settle his weight or regain balance.
Man from Australia, Cody Hefernan. Woo! Oh, man.
The wreck ended fast, but it looked brutal. That's what makes these moments unsettling. Speed doesn't soften impact, sometimes it makes it worse. Acting crazy didn't build tension, he delivered it all at once. There was no escape window, no recovery moment, just force. For Heffernan, the ride was over before it ever began. This wreck set the baseline truth of bull riding. Sometimes the danger doesn't wait, it arrives immediately and it doesn't negotiate.